All right, you are live.
Wow. Hello, everyone. Alrighty.
Awesome. Okay. Hi, I am Galasrinie, and this is Kat, who is going to be my lovely commentator today.
Hi.
And we're going to be showing off the Bayonetta 2 speedrun. Oh,
Yes, it's going to be very exciting. So basically, time will start right after we select difficulty. So Gala is going to be playing as Bayonetta.
Yeah, we're going to be playing on her, which is third climax, but you can get to explain that. Okay.
Sure.
So we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Fantastic. All right, so I guess what I'm going to talk about, because we have a minute, is I want to talk about sort of what that means, like third climax. So in Bayonetta 2, there's 3 different characters you can play and 4 different difficulties. So there's a lot of mixing and matching. Gala here is, of course, playing as Bayonetta, which is, fantastic. Sort of like the standard character, as you can imagine, being the titular character. And then third climax. So in the original Wii U release, instead of easy, normal, hard, and infinite climax, it was first climax, second climax, third climax, infinite climax. So in this way, third climax references hard. Of course, in the Switch version, they switched it to hard, but third climax and hard are the same thing here.
A legend from the dawn of time. Nobody knows where the world came from.
So Bayonetta 2 as a speedrun is really interesting because a huge mechanic in Bayonetta 2, which is somewhat different from the general battle strategies of 1, is that in Bayonetta 2 the gun bullets that Bayonetta shoots out are very, very powerful. So what you see here is, as Gala holds down a button, bullets will shoot out, and those bullets actually end up doing incredible damage per second. So the entire run is actually centered around doing combos that maximize how many bullets shoot out and the different areas of effect. So there's a lot of optimization that goes into this game. The first area here that you see is called Records of Time, and although you want to minimize lag here, it is actually a little bit of an auto-scroller, shades of Super Mario Sunshine. So mostly Gala here is, showing off some really cool stuff. Another major mechanic that I want to point out in this run is you see Gala is currently in a mech. This mech is very powerful. So basically the entire run we are going to be trying to amass enough currency to buy this mech straight out, just because it makes the last couple fights really trivial, especially the boss. So basically amassing a whole bunch of cash and shooting a whole bunch of guns is the way to make the speedrun go fast. And so that is, going to be a really common theme that you see. And, just basically kicking a whole bunch of angel butt, which is, a great, great bonus as well.
Humans gain free will.
Now
choose. With control of the
a lot of things also, Bayonetta 2 is a very item-heavy run as well. So a lot of stuff that goes into the optimization of this game is a lot of like item management, and of course items cost money, and so there's gonna always be sort of this interplay between money and items, and ultimately it comes together to create a very optimized, very fast speedrun.
They've been granted the power of creation.
And with that is Records of Time. So coming up here is World of Chaos, as you just saw. World of Chaos, to me, is actually, I think, one of the most important chapters. It sets the tone for the entire run. The reason for this is actually what Gala here is going to do is she's going to basically... This entire verse is very long. She's going to set up one continuous combo throughout the entire verse, therefore amassing a huge amount of money to buy some very important items, which I'll talk about later. What Gala did right there in the beginning is you saw her do a weapon switch, which allows her to switch between weapon sets and restart the combo. And here you see her taunting, which turned the enemies red. Not only does this make the enemies attack really fast, but it actually increases her combo score and extends the combo timer. So this is going to be an extended, very high point combo at the end of this verse. Which time also adds a multiplier, so when you combine these factors, her combo score is getting racked up at an insane pace. So the big thing here is, there's going to be this just barrage of angels, and it's just how much combo can she rack up in this period of time so that she can be in a good position for the speedrun. You saw there that she used a whole bunch of really large weaves. So that's what's called an Umbran Climax. As you do combos, you will accumulate magic orbs in the magic gauge, which are the purple orbs below her health. If you maximize them, then you can use an Umbran Climax. In the speedrun for optimization, when you use an Umbran Climax is very optimized. And you want to make sure that you use it at a time that is most optimal. Yeah, Gala's doing a great job. She's getting a lot of witch time, which is great. Increases the combo score. And she's on an amazing pace right now. So this enemy right here is a really good reason to use the Umbran Climax. It's a powerful enemy. You get these really powerful weaves, and you double by taking out all of the surrounding enemies as well. So you just see her clear that wave with ease. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Gala will sometimes go into the air and try to use these kick weaves. That's because it basically kills the enemies faster in one hit, and it basically ensures that the next wave comes. So I'm looking at our combo counter right here, and it's around 8,000, which is exactly what you want to see. Congratulations. This was an amazing verse 1 by Gala. So this entire verse was one continuous combo. So now Gala has more money right now than most casual players will have in their first playthrough. Excellent. Gala once again using weapon switching there to reset her combo to get a more favorable damage output. Belief, the enemy here, will stay like this for a little while, so she's racking up some damage with the bullets before using a weave to send him away. You'll notice that Gala holds down the punch and kick buttons at certain intervals. That is to maximize the damage. That is a very annoying attack that Belief can do. He puts the tail down to make you think that that's when you need to dodge, but the dodge actually comes a couple seconds later. Nice. Very good. Gala once again doing a double PPK Umbran Climax, doing these really large leg sweeps with a massive bullet damage. And that is Belief. So yeah. That's a fantastic combo. So yeah, so what Gala was doing there is you can use your weapon sets to basically make sure that you're always having guns trained on the enemy, and that you're always doing certain combinations that specifically train your guns on the enemy for. And so when you do that, the health goes down like a hot knife through butter, that's all I can say. We've been fighting angels so far, but coming up is going to be Gamora, the first demon that we fight. It's being a little rowdy. The most important thing that Gala is looking for here is she wants to do a certain amount of damage in the first phase to initiate what is known as a quick time event punish. For this fight specifically, the quick time event punish is massive for damage output. In a lot of places it's not really good at all and you ignore it, but here it's actually a huge damage boost. And yeah, she's already gotten the punish sequence. So she's magic here and the health bar just goes way down. Gala then taunts here to get some free combo score, because if you do the punish, he can't attack until the next phase. So Gala knows this and is basically racking on as much damage as she can while he climbs into the next phase. Bullets have a hard time hitting him here, but weaves do a pretty good job. And so Gala's doing that to basically make this stage last as little as possible. And boom. Excellent World of Chaos, Gala.
Thanks.
Yeah. So with that, that's World of Chaos. There's a nice little movie here that plays as Gamora is put down. You know, bought the farm. So, speaking of value, chat, so the main thing that Gala's going to look for right now is, does she have enough money? She should. To buy the Fox costume, the Star Fox costume. The Star Fox costume is a Nintendo-branded alternate skin for Bayonetta. You would think that most of these skins would be cosmetic, but it turns out that that's actually not quite true. Some of the skins, especially the Nintendo-branded ones, have different little subtle effects. It turns out that the Star Fox costume has increased bullet damage, and considering that most of your DPS is bullet damage, it turns out that getting the Star Fox costume by the second chapter is pretty important. So you basically get it literally as soon as possible. Here we see another element of things that you buy with money. Right now they're just laying around, but Gala's getting items. For the most part, there's some exceptions, but there's basically two main items that are used in this run. The most important of which is the red Lollipops. The red Lollipops basically double your attack damage for either 10 or 20 seconds, depending if you use a small or a big one. Considering that this is a game where you go fast, I shouldn't have to explain the benefits of doing double damage. The second one are these purple Lollipops, and they're used to increase your magic gauge so you can get Umbran Climax faster. Right here, you saw her do a little bit of complicated movement. That's because she just skipped a fight trigger. She got onto that pillar and actually jumped up and just went over the fight trigger. It turns out that you can do that there. So that's just a very fun, little intricate way of skipping a fight, because the less fights that you have to do, the better. In Bayonetta, there's no sort of experience system. So there's actually, you get money from the fights, but there's actually no real loss to damage or to combo potential by not fighting enemies. So any fight that you can skip in this game, you do. So on top of getting a whole bunch of items that are going to help her, she also got two techniques that are very important. Oh, there's the Fox costume right there. She got two techniques that are very important. She can't equip the Fox costume until after this chapter, so you guys are going to have to wait a little bit longer before you see that. The two techniques that she bought are very important. One was Witch Twist, which is actually, although advertised as an attack, is actually a complex movement option that you use to access skips that you couldn't otherwise. The second one is Bat Within. And Bat Within, to all my people out there who love Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, may know what that is. But Bat Within basically makes it so that if you dodge on the same couple frames you get attacked, then you basically get a free dodge out of it. Yep, she did it right there. Perfect. Gala has already popped in a red, and so she's using it to great effect here as the red guy is already eliminated. So Gala is really trying to hone in on those punch-punch-kick combos. And then Umbran Climax right here, you can see from the large weed, is really good at killing these small flying enemies. Umbran Climax, generally speaking, although they look really cool and scary, is actually way more useful for like multiple small enemies than it is for larger enemy takedowns, generally speaking. Oh, nicely done for Gala. It turns out that, so what Gala did there to end the combo that was gorgeous is that you can jump really fast after an attack, in a way almost canceling the end animation. So she She hit an enemy into the air, killed the other ones, and then immediately jumped and got the punch. That was really good. So Gala has Umbran Climax. Nice dodge. So he will grab you, and if he grabs you, it's an entire cutscene or a quick time event of pain. So Gala missed the grab, and then once he enters a phase where he drops the sword, Gala's gonna activate a red, which you see there, and then pop this Umbran Climax, which does massive amounts of damage. And that red, actually, the timer for that red stops here. And so what that means is Gala's gonna have access to that red for the beginning of the next fight. That's a variant that's very interesting, and it makes the second fight a lot faster, as you're gonna see. Also, that is such a brutal quick time. That's a fun one.
Now, a good time for some donations?
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, if you want to wait exactly 15 seconds, maybe less,
Sure.
There's going to be one. And, oh, the red,
There's a little bit of talking with the characters coming up, so you can do it in
yeah.
just a second.
right now is perfect, actually. Why not? Donations are great.
Sure. We got a $20 donation from RZR360 who says, Gala, she's the best. Gala gang represent. Beaten angels and demons too. Gonna stomp them with her shoe. Go Gala. Good luck.
Oh, that was really good.
And another 25 from XSkyline22 says, hey Gala, good luck on the runs. May have missed some of your streams, but I'm here for the more important one. Gala gang for life.
Thank you, Skyline.
Whatever, love. You've already been following me, so let's make a deal. You save me, I'll show you.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of dialogue. There's a couple. It's a good marathon game. Because there are a lot of cutscenes are skippable, but there is a little bit of unskippable dialogue in places, and so it's a good place to get all those donations in. Great. All right. So you might see. So she opened a chest there that had crafting materials. Casually, you might use crafting materials a lot, but we actually are going to be saving up crafting materials to use at the end of the last boss to get some materials that you can't get from the store because you can't buy as many items as you'd like, unfortunately, even if you have enough money to, which is fair because items are very busted. These are a very unfortunate set of flying enemies. These are sort of notoriously hard. But Gala got some really good damage on these guys. Wow. Yeah, those flying enemies in this game, I like flying enemies in most games, are very sort of capricious. But a very clean set. She popped a purple there to give her faster access to Umbran Climax for this section. Yep, and there is the Umbran Climax. She's gonna do a little bit of movement here, which is good. Nice. And then that combined with the Mega Red, the red will now last the entire fight. And you can see with the bullet damage and the weaves, the damage output is insane if you optimize it in that way. So we meter out 111 solid. We meter out our lollipops in a very specific way. It's all very optimized. So she has one more red lollipop because we're almost done with the chapter. But we have Glamour. Glamour has two main phases. You can pop the red in either. Gala likes popping it here. I like popping it in the second phase. It's a hotly debated topic. I'm joking. It's not. There's definitely a lot of free flow and expression that you can have in this game. You know, as long as you can figure out what combos do a lot of damage. There's a lot of personal flair that you can have in your runs. So with the lollipop, Gala was able to basically get 3/4 of the health done in the first phase. It's actually really good that Gala didn't get Witch Time on that last hit, because Witch Time can continue even after you drain all of the HP. So by not getting a perfect dodge there, Gala actually made the animation of dying faster. So intentional or otherwise, that was really good. Yeah, wow, really nice. Sub 19 Noah Teen City of Genesis, or around there. So yeah, that's fantastic.
Now we're gonna get the costume. Gonna get to put it
Yes. So all of us, so you guys wanted to see the fox costume. You guys were very patient. I appreciate that. And all is looking really good on cash, by the way.
Yeah, money's
That's
looking
really
good.
Money's looking good. You want to, again, we want to really keep track of how much money we have. Here's where we get Star Mercenary, aka Star Fox, McCloud. There, look, it's excellent. How can you say no to a speed run where this is the optimal strat? That's what I'm trying to talk to people about. Come on, you gotta admit this is fantastic. She also equipped some swords. We got a LP which gives us different weapons. Swords actually have lower DPS for most. Oh, swords have good DPS for most cases, but what the swords can do in the spin motion is the spin hitbox is large. So for enemies that are trying to surround Gala, the swords can actually be faster, especially for flying enemies in the future. But in general, the bullets are just too strong, which is of course why we got to Star Fox in the first place.
Where did you learn that trick, little one?
This
If
is
there
also
is
another
a-
talking part, so
yeah.
if you have any
Or a shame,
donations,
for that
this is a good
matter,
time
pull off
too.
something like that.
Yeah, we did get a donation in.
You
Let me
think
pull
I'm
it up
just gonna
again
tell
real
you my
quick.
secrets when I don't even know who
It
signed you
was
up?
a $100 anonymous donation.
Seems I can control the remembrance of
Completing
time.
that Super Mario World
That's
11
what it
exit
is.
no cape bonus
It
run,
feels
actually, that we were waiting
I
on.
mean,
And the
no.
comment
I
is
got nothing
go
else to say,
Gala
love.
go.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, so, yeah, that's fantastic. And we're actually going to come up. I'm going to not talk too much to give Gala some space. Gala's about to attempt a notoriously very hard skip. She's going to go for it, even though it's a marathon, because she's incredible. I'll talk about it after it's done. Perfect. Gorgeous. All right. So what Gala was doing there is you saw her use the infinite witch twist to actually gain height. And you can gain actually infinite height with that witch twist. And the way that it works there is you can do it in such a way that you basically clear the gravity plane as Loki forms the platform. And you can basically skip the main transition and therefore the main hitbox that activates that verse. So you skip an entire verse. It saves about 25 seconds. Considering that it saves 25 seconds, it's unreasonably hard to get down for several reasons. But with practice, you can get anything down. And Gala's been working hard on that skip, and it clearly paid off. So nicely done. So yeah, with that successful skip, it's looking pretty fantastic. Of course, the thing about the skips is, of course, is you don't get to see what it doesn't, what it doesn't look like. So, you don't get to see the content that you skipped, so you don't know how fast it was. But I promise.
Yeah, a lot of the skips in Bayonetta are like avoiding fight triggers. A lot of them, yeah.
This little one's made me a
So that one just skips over a fight that was there. It goes over the top of it, so you don't have to do that fight.
Yeah.
We're going in entirely.
Paradiso right here. This is actually, well, it's, a little bit auto-scrollery. The amount of damage that you do on Glamour. Glamour returns, by the way. We saw him in chapter, in a couple chapters back. And you thought he was gone, but no. Not yet. So, you actually want to get a decent amount of damage on him in these first couple phases, just because it actually does carry over to the final fight. So that's why Gala's hitting the triggers. Gala's getting actually hit on purpose. There's a very good reason for that. The reason for that being that you actually will hit the damage trigger. Or sorry, you can only get down a certain amount of health in each section. So activating Witch Time and doing a lot of damage actually isn't worth the fact that Witch Time slows down you know, how long each section takes. Normally the damage output is worth it, but because of the auto-scroller nature of this, Gala actually wants to get hit here to avoid Witch Time, which is somewhat unconventional, but in this case you want to get hit on purpose just because Witch Time isn't worth it, which for those who rigorously play the game, that might sound like a weird sentence, but we are on phase 2. We are somehow inside the tornado. Physicists, please look away. I do not know how this is possible, but here we are. You know, Gala's whacking on them guns, just because eventually Glamour's gonna show up. Yep, there he is. So Gala now can activate Witch Time in here because she's blown through the previous damage cap because she's on the next phase. There is a second damage cap, but that one's a little bit harder to reach. So, wow, Glamour can hit the icicles. The icicles are a hard one. It's gonna get a little bit low on Gala's health here, but you know, and it looks scary, but you know, as speedrunners, we have faith that when we need to dodge, we can dodge. Like so. Yeah, that was really good. So with that one, Gala has now hit the damage cap for this enemy, and so now there's no more like damage that can be done. Oof, that is unfortunate. There's fragments of the building there that can hit, and I had developed a strategy to avoid them, but it's very finicky. You know, the hitboxes of those things are way larger than their object, so even if it doesn't look like you're gonna hit them, yeah, now the screen looks angry because Gala got hit there. It's really not her fault. That's a really finicky fight. So these are two smaller. It's just a scary screen. It's totally. I mean, you're totally fine. You know, it's not. No, you're not gonna die. It's just something that I find very annoying. It's not your fault. It's just the game's fault. Gala was able to use one red there to basically crash through these smaller glamours, and this large one actually has the health from the previous two phases. So, because of that, there's a lot of leeway. Nice, wow, fantastic. Glamour sometimes gets really angry and will start turning red and doing these like very rapid slashes, and that's really slow, but Gala got a really good attack pattern on Glamour this run, so that's really good to see. And here we see her dealing with all three of them simultaneously because we appreciate that hashtag efficiency. There's a Slay Queen joke to be made there somewhere. And that is Paradiso. Unfortunately, that's about the last time we step in foot in Paradiso this run. Unlike Bayonetta 1 where you go in there a little bit more frequently. But unfortunately, we aren't going to be so lucky. The next fight is the two meet, which is one of the first humanoid bosses that we face. It's the Masked Lumen, where if you don't like spoilers, please cover your ears, and you know. But it's Baldur. It's the main antagonist of Bayonetta 1. If you want to know how that works, you gotta Google it. But you know, basically, Baldur is gonna be actually a more active antagonist overall in this game than he was in Bayonetta 1. So we're gonna face him 3 times. This verse being the first one. And the humanoid bosses are pretty tricky because they have some pretty wacky attack patterns and can be notoriously hard to hit. Before we get to Baldur, though, we have to do a couple more verses to get there. So we saw Gala equip the swords here, and that's just because these guys in the middle are the flying enemies really suck. So Gala's trying to do the spin move with the large hitbox to lock that in. Nice. That shield enemy is really annoying. You can't really do much damage as long as the shield's closed, and she killed it right as it was about to close the shield, saving her a good chunk of seconds. So Earth shows up out of nowhere, which is kind of rude. Luckily, nothing that we haven't seen before. She did a really cool combo there just to train the guns on Urbane really hard. And then, yeah, that one move with the bullets is huge. And then we get this nice little quick time event. We only use 1 red here, so we have a whole suite of red lollipops that we're going to use for Baldur, which is pretty important. These humanoid enemies are going to be a pain in the butt the longer you deal with them, so we basically try to stun lock Baldur the entire time. What Gala does to do this is she's going to do what's called a PK switch, where you P and then K, punch and then kick, I should say. And then you weapon switch to basically alternate the first 2 iterations of the combo. This locks in Baldur because he's waiting for a weave to dodge. But the finisher never comes. He's trying to move, but you see here he's just locked in. Oh, he blocked because he's rude. But you know, he can occasionally block, but for the most part, it just stun locks him. Then Gala does Umbran Climax for the second verse here, and then if it's Umbran Climax, he can't even block. So as a result, you know, Baldur basically never moves. You know, it's a hard a hard boss for sure, but when Baldur can't move, ooh, Baldur, oh, this is the problem with playing on hard though. The humanoid bosses can get finicky, so Baldur basically escaped the stun lock at the very end, and once he does that, he made it a little bit problematic. Nothing Gala hasn't seen before, so she handled it wonderfully. But you know, they can be finicky little pests. Overall, an excellent Baldur one. Good job, Gala.
And little Madam Butterfly and Temperance punch out.
Oh, I gotta get that Rock'em Sock'em in there a little bit.
They're really cute, that part.
Yeah, I love that part. Actually, for that part, the lollipop abilities carry over. So half of the joy of that is that Rock'em Sock'em is actually also sped up by the red lolly that you popped in the 3rd phase of Baldur 1, which is a little bit of a handful of words, but it all means something, I swear. But yeah, it's a very good punch out. Bayonetta 2 has a whole bunch of those cute little moments here and there. Cathedral actually isn't too bad of a one. There's only a couple verses that really matter. It does feature a nice little unskippable section in the middle. So if we get some donations, if we have any donations in, then hold off a little longer because there's going to be a perfect spot for them in a little bit. Oh, we got Snake Within, which Gala is using right now. It is notoriously, honestly, quite difficult to control, which is why it looks a little jerky. Gala is doing actually a pretty good job. It's just a very hard to control animal. I think that's sort of by design. Makes water movement a little bit less free. All right, so the first fight here is going to be Pain. He's very rude. You can Pain can basically get stuck though, because every weave he gets knocked into the air, and he takes forever to recover. And so so that's what Gauntlet did right there. I actually found, not to plug myself, I found out that lock combo. I'm a little proud of it. I found it out by complete accident, but it's crazy. Pain basically just can never recover from getting thrown into the air. It's a very funny element. That's one of my favorite things I've discovered in the speedrun, to be honest. It's such a small part of the speedrun. It's literally 15 seconds, but it's a good 15-second blurb.
So
If
this
there
is going
are,
to be a bit of talking, so if you want to read some donations, this is a good time.
Sure. Just want to mention that we are raising money for Save the Children.
Not really.
Also did open up a couple new incentives
This is it.
since we met some of our earlier ones. So there is a Fallout 3 glitch showcase incentive that is now active, as well as a Mega Man 2 Power Fighters 2 games, 1 controller,
I have plenty
which is
of
2 fighting games using the same
nothing comes
inputs.
to mind.
So that'll be interesting. And there's also tons of bid wars and such still going on. So if you have any money you want to throw towards any of those incentives, they are there.
You too? Listen, I don't remember a thing.
Lovely.
Nothing. I don't even know
So
why I'm so
doesn't-
damn sure I need to go to that mountain. But I know I have to. It's all I know.
all right.
Does
So
that make any sense?
in this dialogue, they're trying to make sense of everything, and in typical Platinum Games fashion, it doesn't.
It's not like that.
You get to see the cool Madame Butterfly shadow on the ground. That's what Gal is showing off. I always think that's a nice touch. It's very cool. So this is a really good one for the swords. You'll see why. This sphere is kind of miserable. And the swords make it super easy. Oof. Yeah. These flying enemies on the spear are really hard because they're like on one part of the spear, and if they run away from you, they're just very silly. Also, I haven't figured this out yet. Sometimes these enemies can spawn in weird. I don't understand like what the spawning rules for these enemies are, but they're not normal. That's the only thing I can tell you. Like they have like really weird spawn-in rules. In fact, in world record, I lose 5 seconds because one of these guys just decides to not spawn in until, you know, after everyone else dies. It's super tilting. But now that that's over, we get to play as Loki a little bit, and our job is to run. So you can imagine how well that goes. As speedrunners, running is our specialty.
Crap! Nothing's working!
So this actually is a double, I call them the Hammer Bros. This is a double Hammer Bros fight, Urbane and Gravitas together. This fight can be a little bit annoying, but with a whole suite of an Umbran Climax extension, which I'm going to talk about, Gala should make short work of it.
About that?
So Umbran Climax actually is very interesting. If you pop a purple in the middle of the Umbran Climax, an Umbran Climax only ends when the gauge is gone. So you can activate a purple in the middle of the Umbran Climax, and the run, and the game doesn't think that you're done with the Umbran Climax. So the result is that, oops, oh, weird hitbox. The result is that you basically, Gala did one continuous. The man's jumping. Like Michael Jordan. Come on. So the worst thing that the Hammer Bros can do isn't actually an attack. The worst thing they can do is they can jump into the air randomly. Either to attack or just because they like to see the view. I mean, I don't know. But it's the absolute worst AI decision of all time. Because they Makes him hard to hit. I'm calling them air urbanes now. The shoe. that's what the. You can clip and quote me on that. So this is Valor, by the way. Not to change the topic, but the only mantra that Gala needs to have here is keep this man inside the arena. This man wants to leave. Nope. Okay, he left. Yep. All right, I jinxed it. That's me doing the commentator's curse. That's my fault. So this guy really wants to leave the arena. This guy wants to leave the arena so bad. And as you saw here, it can be really hard to stop him from leaving the arena. But it just loses a little bit of time because, like, why is he leaving? Bayonetta 2 is one of the only fighting games where half of the enemies are like, I don't want to be here. He goes out to brunch. He can't run from you in this phase though, so it's a little bit nicer. Also, so once he hits a certain threshold, he will activate a certain... Yeah, Gala got hit there on purpose so that he can go to this animation, which triggers the quick time event, which kills him. And there you go.
I don't think you'll be able to get a new one of those.
I think you're going to be able to get a new one of those. I always love that line. I don't know why. It's so sassy. My favorite. Bayonetta has so much character. She remains one of my favorite fictional video game characters. It's good to, you know, kick a bunch of angels with some sauce on them. Alright. This is a little mini boss gauntlet, actually, because you saw Bridge to the Heavens here. The next one is actually going to be basically a little mini gauntlet, because the next verse is the Arc, featuring one of the largest bosses you will face. Not the largest, we'll get to that later, but one of them. It's Death Manta, aka Insidious, aka Death Manta. And he is a large lad. Very, very, very stylistically cool, and a really cool boss. But we're gonna showcase that in a brief moment. So here comes the Ray. Gala can taunt here because it's free money. As long as she dodges that, yep, free money. Gotta get that good cash. Gala's looking really good on cash, by the way. It's hard to remember, but during this time we're also trying to, like, maximize our combo score. You know, we keep it so chill talking about all the good fighting that's going on, but there's a lot of combo and money optimization that's going into this as well. Wow, really good transition to phase 2. Gala's new mission is to not get hit by these guys. Fun fact, the official speedrun strat for not getting hit by those homing is freak out and hope they don't hit you. I wish I was joking. You just sort of run in circles and the homing is just not that good. Nice. You also saw Gala get another taunt in there, actually. It's very, very nice and crucial. Once, yep. So he shoots more missiles that don't have really good accuracy. You will always get sucked up by Insidious, so that's why she was so close to the mouth. You just want it to happen as fast as possible. It's not an event that you can stop from happening. Believe me, I've tried. Yeah, wow. So it's crazy how much these bullet damage do. So Gala's basically holding on the bullets of the last verse, and he's basically cutting through 40% of the combo, you know, basically in one sitting. However, the last eye can use a weird combo set there that's pretty garbage, which is unfortunate, but Gala was able to get the health down, and that transitions to Inside Insidious. Sub 150 is very solid, especially for a marathon. And especially for that attack pattern at the end. The DBZ tribute scene here. Gotta love that. Hame. Gauntlet does this fight better than I do, actually. I want to steal this. Gauntlet does this fight really well. I think that's still faster than how I do it. I think that's really, really good. Most of Bayonetta 2 is just using Umbran Climaxes to kill groups of enemies really efficiently. And Gala is always rock solid at doing that. And it's super inspiring to watch. In any case, this is Baldur 2. Yep, Baldur is also inside Insidious. Don't ask why. Questions aren't important. So Baldur tried to shield, but the power of Umbran Climax was too strong. Oh. Baldur's being rude. I actually find Baldur 2 to be harder than Baldur 3. I'm sure y'all agrees, and it'll be obvious to the viewers why that is later on during Baldur 3. But Baldur 2 just has these really, really exhausting blocking patterns, as well as just really, really annoying to dodge attacks. Makes him such a pain. And then you get this lovely animation here. GG on Baldur 2. I wish I could scream so loud that I could scare missiles away from me. It's on the bucket list.
Stub your toe?
For sure. Boom.
I do want to point out we are 9 hours roughly in and we already hit half of our goal.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear.
Awesome.
That's really cool. There was a $56 donation from Jax who says, "Keep up the good work, Gala." Donating on behalf of the Gala Gang to take us to 500. So that's stunning, actually. Thank you.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I'm really glad to see. This is my first time commenting at Valuethon, and it's been a really good event so far. I'm really impressed. Good job, guys, everyone, for setting this up. It's been great. Infinite Witch Twist actually hasn't really made its appearance after Chapter 2, and so another skip is actually going to come up right here, where Galabase is going to Infinite Witch Twist past a whole lot of stuff, because you can. So that's what she's doing here. So, it happens. The timing of Infinite Witch Twist is tight. It looks really easy when you do it correctly, but it's harder than it looks. Don't sleep on it. So basically, what it actually is, what it looks like though, is Gala's basically canceling the Witch Twist at a certain time with, you guessed it, another Witch Twist. So you can cancel a Witch Twist with a Witch Twist, and basically do that as much as you want. Aside from the fact that it's criminally hard. That attack is so hard to dodge. It's like you have like 3 or 4 frames to get that right, and if you're even a little bit late, it's super exhausting. This sword in the second phase also is kind of miserable, so it doesn't help. There's a little bit of Loki RNG in this level. Loki will just sometimes not want to... Yeah, see? Yeah. Loki decided to just take 2 seconds there because He's picking his nose or something. Gala actually was the one who I think was one of the people who originally put forward using the torture attack here. Torture attack is something that doesn't come up a lot in the speedrun because it starts an animation that's usually pretty slow. But instead of doing Umbran Climax, what you can do is you can instead decide to use all of your magic gauge basically to do virtually an insta-kill. On an enemy, and normally it's not as good as Umbran Climax, but there it's actually very good. So basically there's you know, right now we've really only been dealing with 2 weapons, the guns and the sword, and for reasons you can imagine there actually aren't many more weapons that we use, because the guns, especially with the Star Fox, are just so good. However, there is one more weapon that we're gonna get, and you have to collect items over the course of 2 chapters to unlock it, and that's the hammer. And we actually can jump cancel the first swing of the hammer input, which leads to some crazy damage per second in the back half of this game. And so Gala's gonna go out of her way to make sure that she collects. There's 3 LP fragments you need to get to unlock the hammer. This is actually a really easy verse skip. Like, a lot of these triggers are pretty trivial to get around. It's sort of great. There's another trigger that she's skipping here, just by hot stepping in the right spot with Panther. So she went over there just to get that hammer input. Nice. That was really good. The bullet from the weave actually passed through the enemy and basically helped clean out the hammer enemy. Not to be mistaken with the hammer that we're going to get. This next verse is another patented Gala classic, by the way. Another one that I have shamelessly stolen in my runs. Look at that. The animal that is a bat, by the way. Everyone always argues about what the animal it is. It's a bat. I know it doesn't look like a bat, but it's a bat. And that's something we all have to live with. Oh, snake is hard to control.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
No,
Where are we going, Bayonetta? Where are we going? We're going up here. Okay.
Nope, the other way. You got it. Woo! All right. Snake is hard. It happens. It happens to the best of us. Trust me. Whoopsie daisies. This is yet another moment where we have to run. Always be running. The speedrunner's manifesto.
If you need to learn how to talk to a lady, ask your mother. There.
Alright, and then we have, oh gosh, this isn't Pain. It's Pain, it's like Pain. It's the same thing where you can basically also stun lock him. It's very nice. He has a little more health, so it takes a little bit more, but yeah. It's such a nice lock.
That was easy.
There you go. And that's Ancient Civ. So a little bit more infinite witch twists, which is always excellent. A little more skips, getting some new weapons. We're going to now go to what I consider to be one of the hardest humanoid fights in the game. Actually, it's a pretty good tie between Baldur 2 and Prophet, isn't it? But Prophet can be a real annoying jerk sometimes, and we find that in Gates of Hell. There's definitely some more good Infinite Witch Twist shenanigans in the beginning as well in this split too. And some really good Umbran Climax usage. You get a lot of really good enemy variety in these middle verses. It's really nice. So we gotta do a little more spin to win to form some platforms. These sections are, even with the infinite witch twist, you just need to form them because otherwise there just isn't a flag. I think that's where the entire arena is. But now that that's set up, Gala can set up yet another.
Keep dropping it today.
Yeah, that's hard. It's just the nerves. It's normal. Cutting it too early is pretty common as well, as far as mistakes go. So you see she's infinite witch twisting over to this area.
Because yeah, there's a fight in the middle, so we can just do that.
Yeah, that's right. And this verse, you saw she grabbed another Mega Red, so you can only buy a certain number of Reds and Mega Reds from the shop. That's what's preventing you from buying like 20 at once. Unfortunately for us, it limits how we can use items in the run. But this split has a... Allegiance is so rude. This enemy here is so rude. But in this run, we have... in this chapter, sorry, we have an extra Mega Red. Because the game gives it to us. Probably not anticipating how broken Mega Reds are, combined with our torqued Star Fox damage output. The result being that we basically get to have really high damage for the entire run. You see how he be jumping? What are you doing? Nothing but net, apparently, is what these hammer bros are thinking this run. Loki once again not forming the platform because he hates everyone, including himself. Gala's gonna get the last fragment that you need to make the hammer. She'll get that next time she goes into the shop, and now she's infinite witch twisting up to this little area right here, and that prevents it to not go around. So this is Golem part 3 or whatever. And the Golem has two sections. There's the bird section and the dog section. The dog section sucks. The dog section is really annoying, has like the worst attack patterns, and that's why you want to get most of the damage done during the bird section and this sort of broken section here. Because, oh my goodness, the dog sucks. I'm going to take a moment from this cutscene to just say I hate the dog. The dog has killed so much of my runs. No, those attack patterns are unfair. It's not fun. But yes, some really solid combos and execution on the fight, Scalia. You're doing great. All right, Prophet is coming up. So we actually picked up the Urbane's gloves, and that's why. Prophet not looking so good now. He wasn't happy that we did that, but, you know, keeping a humanoid still is worth its weight in gold. And so we do that. Yeah, nice. Really good phase 1. So you actually get 2 hits, so you actually can, this is why Prophet sucks. Prophet can dodge the Urbane gloves, which is definitely makes you think, hey, why can he do that? And the answer is because the game was designed by people who hate you. That was still an amazing Prophet. Wow, I want to see what the game time of that was. That was some solid play. Yeah, wow, sub 40, nice. That's really good.
Not that bad, I guess.
Very solid Gates of Hell.
Another
the hammer, by the way. So now we have the hammer. You will see it will be immediately put to use in the jump cancel. If Gala wants, she can show off some jump cancels in the loading into Ancient Civ if you wanted to showcase the coolness of jump canceling. Oh, you can't because you haven't because you can't equip it yet. No, I forgot.
Equip it later.
No, it's just easier to see in the loading. I made a promise. I made Gala a liar. That was me. I'm sorry about that. I was so excited for the hammer. Shame on me. No, so yeah, but what you do is you basically do the first hammer swing over and over and over again, and it basically, instead of doing a really slow hammer combo, you basically repeatedly do this hammer swing, and you can basically see the result of the hammer swing. Especially combined with Umbran Climax, it is an insanely powerful area of an effect weapon. Something far beyond what the developers of this game were ever intending. And you're going to see that basically right now. She's going to also use a yellow lollipop, which grants her invincibility. It isn't often used in the speedrun, but it's used in key moments like this. So she's jump canceling and just doing the same first attack over and over again in rapid succession. And the boss is basically sort of dead. Yeah. A weapon to surpass Metal Gear. So yeah, as you can see, kind of busted. It's unfortunate that we get the hammer so late, but we still use it to great effect for the rest of the run. So, so you can also charge the hammer, and that makes the hammer strikes more powerful. And the result of that is that you can combine it with the red lollipop and jump canceling to make it a really, really powerful series of hits. Absolutely crushes them. I just also love because I mean, especially with the guns, it's not very elegant. Sorry, the gun combos are always very elegant, and then you just see Bayo just holding this large hammer, like this just sort of gigantic hammer, and just running around and like hitting people with it, Amy Rose style, like Sonic the Hedgehog, and I love it. It's just a completely different vibe.
I always thought it was cool, like, on this run, you use, like, a heavy weapon and you can make it fast. Yeah. I thought that was really cool. Because usually, like, heavy weapons are too slow.
Yeah.
You can make it fast. It's good.
Yeah, exactly. Well said. Upcoming here is Sloth. Sloth is one of my least favorite enemies. Infinite Climax Sloth is unbelievably unfortunate. At the very least in hard, it stays still long enough just so that Gala can whack it with an Umbran Climax hammer swing series, but it can be a very frustrating enemy. Luckily did not prove too much to be a problem.
Yeah, they're very agile. Very agile enemy.
Yeah, really talented. Gala's gonna opt to get the extra little mega purple here. You can do that. It's actually going to be good sometimes, especially if you want to save some money, which, especially for a marathon, is a very good idea. The next section might be good for some donations. It's basically, you and Rodon actually work together, Rodon being the guy to your left. You and Rodon basically work together to fight some demons. The problem is that Rodon is actually much more powerful than you, so you end up basically watching Rodon kill things. So because of that, there is sort of an auto-scrollery nature to this. So if there are donations, you can actually sort of play them now.
Yeah, we had a $20 donation from Not More Lore. Says Gala is running great and this is some excellent commentary too. Let's learn how to talk to a lady. And and that went towards the Dishonored 2 bonus any percent Corvo run. So super appreciate that.
Wow, really good stomp. So Rodon can do these basically insta-kill stomps, and the frequency at which he does the insta-kill stomps is somewhat planned, but also somewhat random. And so basically, you know, you basically want him to do the nice stomps. But see, now Rodon is just playing with his food. Like, he just, you know, it's a little unfortunate sometimes. Rodon can give it, and Rodon can take it away.
And so is my target.
Fun fact, while I'm here, world record loses 30 seconds to this Rodon fight because Rodon can just be a jerk. So it is actually a 30-second swing.
Yeah, he's very strong, but he's also a big tease because sometimes he doesn't do the most powerful stuff to just obliterate everything.
Yeah. Just kill everything, and he's like, nah, I want to play with my food a little bit. And I'm like, no, that's bad. Yeah, what a tease.
And for those who don't know, he's also the shopkeeper in the game. Like when we go to the shop, he's the shopkeeper.
And he's the ultimate boss as well, actually. Provided that you can buy enough halos. That's a fun little challenge if you've never done it.
Diplomacy.
Which that is the platinum ticket that has now become available. Obviously not of interest to us in the speedrun, but for those who are interested. So right now we're going to do actually a little bit of a boss rush gauntlet again, and this will show the true power of the hammer. The hammer is really good against humanoids because it's large. The humanoids on harder difficulty cannot block it, and so the end result is that it looks something like this. Yeah. Oh, funny to me about when, like, Umbran is just lying on the ground and you just keep hitting her. I don't know, it's just very funny to me. It's like, yeah, I'm not gonna stop. There's just something about how the enemy just keeps recoiling over and over again. It's like, ow, ow, ow. Put me down. As you see, the boss has definitely gotten a lot more, it definitely trivializes this boss though. I mean, look at this. It's crazy. Good job, Gala. Excellent all around. So with that, Bayonetta has saved her sister Jean. If you didn't know that Jean was gone, it's because we skipped all the cutscenes and we didn't mention it earlier. But yeah, that's like a huge subplot of this game, and it's over now. So, good job.
Being a deep.
Yeah, money is still looking pretty okay. Nothing a little gaze of despair on witch huts can't solve. And however, of course, I'm getting ahead of myself. The next one is we're gonna fight Baldur 3. But before we fight Baldur 3, we have to go ride the horse. Our trusty steed, Diomedes. And so basically all it just has to run. A common theme in this game, if you haven't noticed, there's a lot of running. A lot of runs with a lot of running, if you know what I mean. This is, you know, basically yet another auto-scroller. The annoying thing about this auto-scroller is that it turns out that holding forward actually makes you run faster. So you want to run forward as much as possible because it actually does make you run faster. So it's just annoying enough that you sort of have to make sure you're like paying attention.
This running segment is also very cinematic. Like everything going around is like breaking apart and like enemies. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very Bayonetta 2 definitely is a little dramatic, wouldn't you say?
But this is also a good time for anything like donations.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, we got a $25 donation from Kevin and Joe, which are my actual parents.
Oh.
They said, have fun with your marathon this weekend while raising money for a great charity, and that means a lot, so thank you.
Awesome.
Oh, fantastic.
That's lovely.
That's an annoying Umbran Climax. That's okay. There you go. Alright, now with that verse over, we get to fight Baldur. So, I know what you're thinking. Baldur, final Baldur, insanely hard boss. There's no way that you could just, max out your Umbran Climax gauge, equip the hammer, and just hit him, right? No, the answer is yes, you totally can do that. Haha. Hashtag easy clap. Wow, very good Baldur. That actually was very good. Wow. I want to see that in game time. Woo! Woo! Gorgeous. And yeah, I just sort of think it's funny. It's like, surely you can't just Umbran Climax and, and just hit him. And it's like, no, you actually completely can. It's not against the law. Oh,
the
sorry,
hammer's really good at stun locking. Yeah. Keeping them kind of stunned and keep hitting them. That's good.
I mean, the Umbran Climax weave is also just huge. It's like a large hand and it sweeps an area. It's like where there's nowhere to run. Yeah, that was worthy of a GG or two. That was really good. So the camera likes to turn here weirdly. I always fight with the camera. Gala is combining the red lollipop and the charge hammer here for damage ultra, and my favorite, the spinning weave, which looks hilarious. Except the red lollipop ran out, so it didn't get the kill, which is sad. But it's still a pretty hilarious weave. I love that one. Up next is Fortitudo. Fortitudo is kind of rude. Unfortunately, not nearly a fifth of the ordeal that he is in his Bayo 1 iteration. As per usual with this run, a quick red and some bullet damage actually does more than enough damage. And what's a several minute fight in Bayonetta 1 is maybe a good half a minute or so. Bayo 2. 22.47 seconds to be exact. Alright, that's the last bit of crafting materials. Her materials look great, which is great to see. She'll have more than enough to craft what she needs. You need a lot of... Bayonetta 2 as a weapons-heavy game means that you need a lot for the final boss. can. Definitely can get the yeets in chat. There's a couple good yeets in the late chapters. It's a good meme. There's actually another. This is another chapter with a free mega red. So because she started the charge with Umbran Climax, that charge still has that Umbran Climax weave, which, as you saw, does massive amounts of damage. It basically cut out 90% of Fearless's health in one hit, and it's very cool. It's a bummer it isn't more useful elsewhere, because it's very good. We give ourselves yet another magic gauge here, and then basically wipe out Fairness and Fearless in one sort of go. Nice. Good bullet. Good. So Gauntlet did what's a very important skill in Bayo, which is, crisis management. Is, if you miss a hammer hit, she immediately switched back to the bullets and used the power of the Fox DPS to clean up that fight, and that still made it pretty fast, despite bad AI.
Beloved in the hot tub.
Oh yeah, gotta love it. As usual, just use the hammer to get him angry. But yeah, he's just chilling in the lava.
I thought it was funny.
Taking a nap. No, it's pretty good. I agree. We're actually gonna do another quick little fight skip here. You actually literally just jump around it, or you can infinite witch twist around it. Yes. It's definitely a lot safer. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Rosa just fell off the edge, which is pretty awkward. Luckily for Rosa, she's very, very fast and also an NPC. And so her falling off the edge is less of a big deal. So we basically do the same thing that we did in a previous chapter, where we basically use the small purples to basically continue this Umbran Climax longer than you normally would. So this is basically just one continuous Umbran Climax. Yeah, you want to get as much damage before you have to switch to the hammer, or if he moves away, you can do the hammer or switch to the guns, that home long range. Depends on how much health is left. But once you do that, you get this nice little, you get a little bit of teamwork between Bayo and Rosa, aka Rosa's mom. Sorry, Bayo's mom. A good
Rosa's mom.
wait, Rosa's mom. I've tongue twisted myself. I've failed.
Bayonetta's mom. Who is Rosa?
Who is Rosa? I've been bamboozled once again. Yeah, so that was a good mother-daughter bonding moment. Bottom line. Oh, but now we have the fun verse. So in the very beginning of this run, you saw Bayo in a mech, and you're like, wow, how can I get in on that sweet, sweet Gundam action? The answer is right now. That is where we're going with this. There's gonna be, you can't see it in the cutscene here, but there's gonna be some sweet, sweet hot mech action coming straight to you on twitch.tv. And so it's pretty fun. You're in a giant mech. I don't know. There's not much more to say. Actually, that's not true. There is a little bit more to say. So you notice that she equipped what's called the Gaze of Despair. This basically puts all of the enemies into a permanent taunt state, which increases the combo, because we need to get a lot of money this chapter. It's also super important, because actually when you're in the mech, you can't taunt. Which makes sense, because why do you need to taunt if you're in a giant mech? It makes sense to me. Bottom line, though, is that the result is that, you know, this is the only way that you can get taunted enemies on this chapter. And the resulting score from it is actually quite massive. Nice. So, you know, you get some real good mech action. Combined with Gaze of Despair and the red Lollipops, which actually also increase some of your score, it's really good. The problem is you just have to make sure you don't die, because of course these taunted enemies, while they give higher score, they attack faster and they do much more damage. So this combo can occasionally drop, and it won't be anyone's fault, but Gala's gonna try to keep it alive. Nope, it's okay. It's no one's fault. It just sucks. It's a hard sometimes the beloved will drop in like a weird timing, and you can't continue the combo. This is still looking mighty good on money.
So yeah, this chapter with taunting and everything that we use, the whole point is to try and get lots of money from this chapter. Yeah.
Right. Mostly because, yeah, we never actually talked about it. So after this chapter, you unlock what's called the Earrings of Ruin, which allow you to basically, right, this is the mech chapter, right? But it's like, well, what if I want to be in the mech outside of the mech chapter? Oh, he did a barrel roll. Slippy, no! Oh, you're not supposed to do a barrel roll. But like, so what if you want to use the mech outside of this chapter? Well, you need an item for that. And that item is really expensive. It's pretty obvious that you're not supposed to be able to get that item on your first playthrough. Of course, as speedrunners, we say, screw that noise, we're gonna get this mech because it's super good. So we basically engineer this entire thing to get enough money for the mech. So Gala is gonna mash the guns here, and you get a whole bunch of bullet score. Just mash them, get that witch time and mash them. Can't go wrong. So there's 3 phases. Of course, if you just mash really hard, the bullet damage is insane. This, you Umbran Climax and Red Lolly, and the result is that the end damage result is just massive. So yeah, you already see takedown here, which is hype. Very good. Yeah, that's the perfect amount of money. Good job, Gala.
Yeah, I saw we had 500,000 halos, or more than that, so that's enough that we need to buy the mech accessory, so that's good.
Yeah. And you get actually you usually get another hundo, or a little bit more from hundo, and then you get some from the results screen, so
yeah.
I usually say you want to be a little under 500 actually, and of course you're at 500, so you're at more than enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, you're basically like 60k over, which is perfect. That's like sort of what you want. It meant that, you know, you didn't really waste that much either. You weren't like, you know, 100,000 over. Yeah, perfect. All right, so now, of course, we take off Gaze of Despair, which we no longer need, and we have Earrings of Ruin.
Is that all you've got?
So now Gala is going to use the hammer, but you'll see basically when we use Umbran Climax that we have access to a pretty good suite of weapons. You'll notice that Gala is charging up the hammer a lot here. And she got Grace and Glory on the field at the same time, which is great. Because then you get to do something that looks like this, which is fantastic. Oh. Rosa, that was Rosa's fault. So Rosa here likes to hit enemies away, which is unfortunate because you don't want enemies to go away from you. I'll let you figure out why. Nice. Very nice chapter. Yeah, that was really good. The Grace and Glory, even with the snafu, that was really good. Yeah, 135. You can't ask for much better than that, honestly. That was really solid. So yeah, you can see that when you use the mech, it's just a lot of damage. The power of the mech will be very apparent as well during Lopter, which is yet another humanoid. And, you know, we very quickly evolve. You know, you saw that for the humanoids, we went from, of course, the guns up to Prophet, and then we basically then started using the hammer to eviscerate Allron in Baldur 3. And these enemies right here. But then you'll see that the mech, when it comes to boss fights, is just unmatched. Which is the reason why we get it. You know, it's really huge for this chapter and for the final boss. So, I'll just, you know, you can watch it get to work. So yeah, this mech here basically can lock the enemies in really well. And, you know, already we basically, in one mech combo with the red lolly, you have Lopter going into the second phase, where, by the way, he just grabs a meteor from space and you headbutt it. So this is sort of one of my favorite cinematics. It's just like, yeah, it's casual. Just headbutt the meteor. Also, Lopter just threw a meteor at you. Lots of questions. Gonna have to break out a physics textbook. You guessed it. The answer is going to be more mech. Who could have predicted such an outcome? But yeah, I mean, that's Lopter in like 15 seconds. Ish. I mean, you know, you can't really beat that. Mech is so good. Yeah, 15. 14 and a half. Pretty good just by eyeballing it. I'm sure you guys can predict how we treat. This is the last verse, so we basically treat it the same way you would imagine that we do, which is with a gigantic mech. I'm sure you guys are gonna pick up the theme sooner or later. but that is the truth. Runners and streamers, we are on the last chapter of Bayonetta 2. The journey is coming to an end. However, we have maybe one of the most iconic moments in Bayonetta speedrun history to go. If you're wondering what this iconic scene is, then it is Star Fox. Using the most advanced techniques ever, we can now play Star Fox in Bayonetta 2. Never before seen content. Truly. There's nothing I desire more than to shoot angels in a gigantic R-Wing, so this truly is doing a lot of things for me. There's basically 3 bosses that you have to fight. The first one is Glamour. We basically burned through all of our small reds doing this moment. Of course, by mashing the buttons, small reds plus things is, you know, massive damage output. It's kind of bonkers. Oof. Those are really hard to dodge, to be fair. Luckily, you know, as long as you survive, nothing's really a problem. So once again, red plus Umbran Climax equals dead boss. Kind of crazy. Yeah, very good first one. So that was the Angel Wave. You can then just imagine that the next wave is, of course, the Demon Wave. These guys will attack, you know. The shipburn is actually really easy casually to die at this part. I mean, there's the demons and the angels do a fair bit of damage. The demons in particular do a fair bit of damage to the ship. Luckily, as speedrunners, it doesn't really matter how much health you finish as long as you finish fast, and I believe we also have a red hot shot on deck, so
yeah, I got one.
Yeah, the danger is pretty low. Good for getting one though. Marathon strats. I never buy them anymore, which is a bad habit. But yeah. So this is the last boss. It is the reprisal of Insidious. If you couldn't get enough of Death Manta number 1, here's Death Manta number 2. So we're going to split the damage here where we do Umbran Climax on the first one, and then we're going to use the red Lolly on the second one. And this just splits the damage between the first 2 phases. The third phase is pretty trivial in comparison as well. Also, in the process of which we've used up all of our small reds, which is by design. Don't worry, you'll see why it doesn't matter later. And then and we have our Umbran Climax back, and that Umbran Climax will carry over to the beginning of the final boss of the game. We just have to go to the top of Thimble Venter, and we are about to fight the boss, a seer, god of chaos. Very, very, very exciting, as of course. I'm gonna give you guys a guess of exactly how the fight's gonna go. While doing this, though, this fight is pretty long, so we have to actually use all of our materials to buy some stuff. So we're buying a lot of purple megas, which are gonna keep us in Umbran Climax the entire fight. And then we are gonna give ourselves another mega red, because we had to use up all the reds, small reds fighting here. And of course, doing so means that basically we don't have to go back and shop, even though we used fights. And so, you know, to be honest, there was pretty much one way that this fight was gonna go. If you didn't predict that this is how this fight was gonna go, shame on you. But yeah, so Gala wants to see if she can pass an HP trigger, because otherwise we're gonna get planes. Good. Wow, really nice skipping that trigger. Good job. Aesir tried hitting you for a little bit, which I thought was pretty rude. But basically, you see that we're just quickly cycling through the Aesir phases with the mech. Like, we've just cut through all of the Aesir phases. You know, each phase has only been several seconds. But you need to have basically all of these mega purples on deck. Otherwise, you're not going to have the Umbran Climax to hit all 4 or 5 phases that he has. Of course, it's hard to even call them phases because they go so fast. So that was the final boss, by the way. He's dead. Or not quite. Sorry. He got. Yeah. There we go. So that is the final boss. You blinked and you missed it.
Bayonetta and Balder work together. They summon, I think her name's Omni.
Omni, yeah, that's right.
Omni, yeah.
Balder Bayo team up. You know? Well, we had the father-daughter, sorry, the daughter-mother team up in Vigrid, right? So we had to get the father-daughter team up in Fimbulventure. So, yeah. But, so, you know, you say GG's when the runs, you know, because Gala has beaten the final boss. Unfortunately, I thought where timing is. So it turns out that there are some credit verses that are verses logged by the game. Therefore, they are part of the chapter and therefore part of the speed run. So we have to go complete through these. You have to go complete these chapter verses, and then once those verses are done, we will call time. In the meantime, they always do this fun thing where you interact with the final boss's body after beating them. In Jubileus, you have to, in Bayonetta 1, you throw Jubileus into the sun. This one, you throw Aesir into Gamora, controlled by Jean. Yeah, sub-minute Aesir is really good. Good job.
Let's dance,
And thus,
boys.
let's dance, boys. Merry Christmas. Yeah, well said, Valuethon. Well said.
Yeah, the credits music is really nice. So.
Oh, it's a bop. It's a bop. Guys, be careful. You're gonna have to GG's again in like 2 minutes when we tell you to stop time. You see, Gala's still fighting. Gala still has some stuff to do. There's still hashtag content.
We're just grooving now.
Yeah, well, it's grooving content. It's not hard. It's not high effort, but you know. Well, I think overall, Gala, I think this is pretty much the quintessential Bayonetta 2 speedrun. I don't think you could have asked for much more. You know, you got a red hot shot that you never used, which is great. You know, there's a lot of really good stuff. Oh wow, the sword spin. I don't think he likes the sword spin. Baldur is too classy for that kind of stuff. Nice. Good. So, what, so there's Baldur, then there's a couple more. There's gonna be one in Big Red. And then after the one in Big Red, there's gonna be basically one with the mech. And then after that, there's gonna be the Planeverse, which is a pretty good one.
And that's when
the
time will stop.
Yeah.
With the weather.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, if
Pretty easy to
anyone
predict.
is interested in learning or just interested in like anything Bayonetta speedrun related, you're most welcome to join the Bayonetta speedrun Discord, which you can find attached to our leaderboards on speedrun.com, the Bayonetta leaderboards. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the community is small but really great. You know, I'm great. Gala's great. We're all really great. The game is fun. No, now I sound really conceited just saying that we're all amazing. But
It's true.
it is true. We're all amazing. We're really friendly. I'm always happy to help people learn this speedrun. I think it's a 6 speedrun. You know, you get to, you know, you definitely should not feel bad. Reach out to me. If you know, join the Discord and reach out definitely to any of us. And I'm sure we'll be happy to help you get started.
Yeah, Bayonetta is a lot of fun. It's really fun.
You're jazzing. Okay, so in the next verse, you're going to be on a plane. So, timers, the moment that you hear the snapshot from when the verse ends, you are going to stop the time. Don't worry, we will also sort of get ready to signal you when the time comes. So Gala has a whole bunch of enemies that she needs to kill really fast here, but as soon as the last enemy dies, you're going to get the snapshot.
And yeah, that's time.
Boop! Time. Yeah.
Awesome.
It's really good. Now you get to put the GGs out. 41-15.
Nice.
That's real solid.
I did have my estimate a bit generous, but there's a lot of stuff that happens.
Yeah. A little, well, you know, it's good getting things back on track, I would say. So it's great that you had... This honestly might have been faster than my AGDQ run last year, so I think this might be one of the better Bayonetta 2 speedruns in the books, actually.
Oh.
So this is pretty good. This is one for the marathon records.
Yay.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Lovely.
so.
Thank you so much for doing commentary with me, Cap. I really appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, no problem.
You're a lot of fun.
I hope I was able to provide some good insight for both you and for everyone who was watching. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, very good.
So yeah, I'm glad you all liked it, and so yeah, this is fantastic.
Yeah, everyone follow Cap. Cap is a good runner. He does good
Thanks,
stuff.
Gala. Yeah, well, you know, and I will return. I'm not running Bayo right now, but you know, I'm always on the path to return. I'll never be too far away from it. It's a very fun series. Yeah, and so yeah, and then you've Neo after this, right? So that should be also a lot of fun. So
Thank you so
yeah,
much, Cap.
yeah, no worries. Well, I know that you. I can't stay too much longer, unfortunately. I wish I could, but unfortunately, I don't know enough about Neo, and so I think I'm gonna sign off. In case, yeah. So thank you, Valuethon, for having me on. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Gala, for letting me basically talk over all of your gameplay.
Thank you.
And yeah, so my name's Cap. I'm Cap Revenge on Twitch, and yeah, and this is the Bayonetta speedrun. So I guess I'm signing off. Thank you, everyone, for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.
So I'll move you over to another room for now, and then we'll get set up for your next round.
Okay, cool.